Hey everybody, it's Gomladex and welcome back to some more Magic Arena. Today I'm going to be playing a premiere draft of Innistrad Midnight Hunt. They are rotating through all of the standard draft sets that will not be rotating out when Dominar United hits, and the first of those is Midnight Hunt. So we're going to be doing a couple of these drafts this next coming days, then it's switching to Crimson Vow, and so on and so forth. So without further ado, let's go for our pick one, pack one here. I think I'm going to go with a Chaplain of Alms here. Pretty solid little disturb card. 1 mana, 1/1 first strike, ward 1. Comes back from the grave for only 4 mana as a 2/1 flying first strike. That gives your whole field ward 1, so pretty good deal there. There's some other pretty cool cards, mainly commons here. Eaten Alive, Burn the Accursed can be pretty solid removal. Larder Zombie can work well in this format. There's a mechanic where you can get decayed zombie tokens. Those are 2/2 zombie tokens that can't block and die the moment they attack. So having ways to utilize those that involve them not having to attack or block is pretty nice. So Larder Zombie actually is kind of a solid common too. But I think I'm going to go with Gavany Dawnguard now this pack, just another solid white uncommon. This is one of the day and night cycle cards, so that whole day-night cycle is when you play it, it becomes day, and then if somebody doesn't cast any spells during their own turn, you'll flip to night, and then if somebody casts 2 spells during their turn during the night, you'll flip back to day. So Gavany Dawnguard is a 3 mana 3/3 with ward 1 that is going to let us potentially draw a creature from the top 4 cards of our library every time day flips to night and night flips to day and so forth. So I'm going to take that here. There are again some great commons here, mainly Diagraph Horde, one of the best commons in the whole format, but Gavany Dawnguard being a pretty solid uncommon and on color, I think is probably a little better than Diagraph Horde there. And now we have another really solid pack, 2 really good white commons here. We have Lunarch Veteran, which is going to gain us life every time a creature enters the battlefield under our control, and give us that disturb value, bringing a 1/1 flyer onto the board that gains us a life whenever a creature we control leaves the battlefield. And we also have Search Party Captain, which is nice if we are aggressive. This is a 4 mana 2/2 that lets us draw a card when it enters the battlefield, but it's cheaper if we attacked with some creatures before we dropped it. So both of these very solid white commons. I don't think we can go super wrong taking either of these. But I think I'm going to go with Search Party Captain. I'm just a big fan of just the value dorks of just this enters the battlefield, draws a card. But again, both of these are quite good. So we're just going to stick on color as long as we can here. Now might be the end of that. Unruly Mob is not the greatest thing ever. It's not super consistent. You need a really wide board, and you need this to be out for a while before it's worth its mana cost. And Flare of Faith is just kind of a random trick. Nothing super exciting there. When we look off color, we do have some exciting cards. We have the Startle being a pretty good trick. 2 mana, give a creature -2/-0 till end of turn and draw a card is a trick we've seen in a lot of formats that's not great, but also you get a 2/2 zombie with Decayed, and there are a lot of good ways to use those. So that's a pretty solid trick. In green, these look pretty medium, pretty mediocre. Not even a big fan of the uncommon. Yeah, I think these blue commons, both of them, even Gale Drifter, are probably the best cards here. I could see Gale Drifter, I could see Startle, either one. I think I'm going to go with Startle here. Alright, pick 5 now. We have Revenge of the Drowned. This card was pretty sweet. This is a temporary removal spell. It's like a tempo play. You put a creature on top or bottom of someone's library. They get to choose if they want it on top or bottom. And you get a 2/2 zombie with Decayed, so no matter what, it's slowing your opponent down. If they choose to put that creature on top, they're basically skipping their next draw step to just pick it up again and recast it. So Revenge of the Drowned, pretty nice kind of tempo removal spell. Blessed Defiance is worth noting here. This is a much better combat trick than it looks like because it's a combat trick that also gives you a creature. So you get your +2/+0, you get lifelink, and if your creature dies, you also get a 1/1 spirit with flying. It's kind of like 1 mana for a 1/1 flyer, plus a little combat trick, so that card's also pretty good. But I'll just keep scooping up Revenge of the Drowns if we keep getting past Revenge of the Drowns. Geist Wave's okay, Startle is pretty good as we said before. Neonate's Rush is also a lot better than it looks in red, and Winterhorn Blessing is a pretty fun green-blue card, but we're definitely looking blue-white here. Now we have Phantom Carriage. This is a fun 6-drop for the blue-white deck. 6 mana for a 4/4 flyer, search our library for a card with flashback or disturb and put it into our graveyard. So this lets us put like a Chaplain of Alms or something in our grave to get us sort of like a 6 mana 4/4 flyer draw card when you play it. Solid card there, nothing else super great on color, just some okay commons. So I'll take the Phantom Carriage there. Be happy with that. This pack's pretty bad all around. Eccentric Farmer is definitely the best card in this pack. A 3 mana 2/3. When it enters the battlefield, mill 3 cards, then return a land from your grave to your hand. So basically 3 mana 2/3, sort of a 3 mana 2/3 draw land card. Not as good as just 3 mana 2/3 draw a card, but it's close, which is pretty good. And self-mill is nice in this format. There are flashback cards you can cast from your grave and disturb cards you can cast from your grave. All right, happy to wheel the Larder Zombie here. That gives us a really great way to use our Decayed Zombie tokens to start setting up our draws, basically surveilling, look at the top and choosing if we want to put it in grave or back on top. We have Startle, of course, and double Revenge of the Drowned to get some Decayed Zombies. Larder Zombie, definitely solid. It's also a 1 mana 1/3, like it blocks like nobody's business. And I'll scoop up another Larder Zombie. I guess Locked in the Cemetery wouldn't be the worst here, because we could definitely get some self-mill, but I think I just want another Larder Zombie. Now we take an Evolving Wilds here, just for some mana fixing. And some nonsense. I guess we could take a Jack-o'-lantern or Timberland Guide or something. Nothing that exciting to me there. Blessed Defiance, actually, as I said before, much better than it looks, so I will scoop that up. 1 mana, 1/1 flyer, and a combat trick all in one. Alright, well then, we're going to open up one of the strongest rares in the set, Tovolar's Huntmaster, a 6 mana 6/6 that enters the battlefield with 2/2/2 wolves, so even if your opponent has immediate removal for it, you still get 2/2/2s out of it, and you've gotten rid of a removal spell from your opponent. And if your opponent doesn't immediately remove it, it's pretty impossible to beat, especially if it flips to nighttime, where it will create 2 more wolves every time it attacks and give you the ability to have your stuff fight. So I'm just going to take Tovolar's Huntmaster because it's such a strong card here. It could push us into green because of just the sheer power level of that card. We could try to go blue-green or white-green here off of taking that. So Nebelgast Intruder is fine in blue. Shadow Beast Sighting's pretty solid in green. Problem is there's a decent amount of good bounce removal spells like Revenge of the Drowned that can kill your token. So Shadow Beast Sighting is really good against non-blue decks and pretty bad against blue. But 4 mana for 4/4 and the flashback later is nice. Lunarch Veteran's pretty good. Nebelgast Intruder's pretty good. It's probably one of these two, Lunarch Veteran or Nebelgast Intruder. Let's see what color we're most likely to do. We did get really late Larder Zombies and Startles. We've got a super late Blessed Defiance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blue cards. 1, 2, 3, 4 white cards. Less blue than white. Take Nebelgast Intruder. Try to get into blue-green here, hopefully. I'll take the Nebelgast Intruder. See if it works out for us. Alright, we see a blue-green uncommon here we could go for. The Root Coil Creeper. And this can mana ramp us into our Tovolar's Huntmaster. It doubles up its mana ramp if you're trying to cast spells from your graveyard. And it can return cards with flashback from exile to your hand, so you can just recast them again and again. So I'm going to go for the Root Coil Creeper here. Another Revenge of the Drowned would be fine, but we already have 2. Shipwreck Sifters is also a pretty solid blue card, especially in blue-white, if we wanted to commit into that instead of into blue-green. But with Tovolar's Huntmaster, I'm very, very tempted to head to blue-green as the direction, so I'm going to take Root Coil Creeper. Firmament Sage is okay as well, it's just pretty dang slow for getting that card draw. 4 mana 2/3, just not a very big body size for that mana cost. Wow, alright, well now we see no blue cards in this pack, and we also see Devoted Graphkeeper. We could take Shipwreck Sifters, because we can put this in our deck if we're blue-green or blue-white, because if we're blue-green we can draw a card, discard a card, and then just discard a flashback card or something like that. And if we're blue-white we can discard a Spirit. But Graphkeeper has such insane upside if we do become just the blue-white disturb deck. It's pretty awkward. I'm definitely not following best practices here. Like, best practices probably would have been just take Shipwreck Sifters last pack and then take it again this pack. But I'm going to do the exact opposite. I'm taking the gold cards each pack and hoping for the best. Wow, now we get Organ Hoarder, the best blue common In the format, the best common in the whole format, 4 mana for a 3/2 that lets you look at the top 3 cards of your library when it enters the battlefield, put 1 into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. So a really nice card draw spell here that also fuels the grave for your flashback and disturb cards. An easy Organ Hoarder. Our only color that is a guarantee is blue, and that is just the best card in the pack too, so just taking a blue card there's really nice. And another great one, Falcon Abomination here. 3 mana for a 2/2 flyer that comes with a Decayed Zombie token. Don't mind if I do. Eccentric Farmer is nice as well, but we are 100% blue and just probably green. And now we have pretty much nothing in this pack. I guess we'll take an Unruly Mob in case we end up white and need some more filler creatures. The mob is okay if you have like a ton of Decayed Zombies, I suppose. Path to the Festival could potentially let us splash in a little bit of white. If we have like blue-green as the core, have the green give us the fixing spell. Best cards in this pack are Moonrager Slash and Grizzly Ghoul, but they're very off color for us. And this pack's not very good. We have an okay Disturb card, the Morning Patrol, so I guess I'll scoop that up. I don't really like Otherworldly Gaze. It just puts you down a card. You're just setting up your library. You're not actually drawing any cards off of it. Just setting up what your next draw is going to be, so it feels like you're always down a card playing that, even if you have a lot of graveyard synergies. I'll just take a Morning Patrol there. And I'll take a Shadow Beast Sighting now. That'll definitely work well in the blue-green flashback deck, if that is how we end up going. Wow, Shipwreck Sifter's super late. Gonna scoop that up here over the Revenge of the Drowned again, because I've got 2 Revenge of the Drowned and no Sifters yet. Not a lot of 2-drops if we end up blue-green. And Sifters is a pretty sweet one. Again, a lot better than it looks. Just 2 mana, 1/2, draw a card, discard a card. With the amount of flashback stuff and disturb stuff and stuff like that, it's solid even if it doesn't get a +1/+1 counter. And it's not that hard for a lot of decks to give it +1/+1 counters. I guess we don't have to take Larder Zombies that high. They are a pretty solid common, but they're definitely one that is kind of a sleeper hit, much like Blessed Defiance. So they're the kind of cards that are like really good, but it's hard to see that they're that good. So they tend to go pretty late in the draft pods, so I guess I will take that into account next time I draft this format. That those cards are likely to wheel a lot. Wow, we've seen a lot of excellent black stuff. Mainly stuff that we've opened or seen in the first couple picks. I don't think black is like wildly open, but it is a little sad seeing all these like Diagraph Hordes and Defenestrates just move on by. But that's okay, because we've got another really sweet common in this pack that I'm going to scoop up, the Baithook Angler, a 2 mana 2/1 with Disturb for only 2 mana to turn it into a 1/2 flyer out of your grave. Super solid card with our Shipwreck Sifters and our Self-Mill from Organ Hoarder or Eccentric Farmer or Larder Zombie, any of that kind of stuff. Now another Shipwreck Sifters, pretty happy to take that. There is an on-color rare, but it's pretty inconsistent. A 1 mana 1/1 is just really bad. Even if it has trample and you can gain a life equal to its power, that's just not worth running because it's so inconsequential late game. So you really need a lot of cards that are going to be leaving your graveyard. We don't actually have enough. I feel like even the very dedicated flashback or disturb deck just doesn't do that consistently enough for that card to be that good. And our deck would be like 1, maybe 2 if we splash in white, 3. Yeah, we have like 3 cards that come back from grave. Way too inconsistent for Willowgeist. We're taking Shipwreck Sifters. So we could take Flip the Switch as a counterspell that gives us a Decayed Zombie, or another Revenge of the Drowned as a third little tempo removal that gives us a zombie. Or we could even take Dawnheart Mentor. It's actually a pretty solid solid uncommon creature there. How's our creature count look if we move into just blue-green? Do I want more creatures in here? 14. We basically have 15 though because we have Shadow Beast Sighting. Plus we have multiple things to make Decayed Zombies that kind of add more creatures. I think we're doing pretty solid on creature count. I think I can take a Flip the Switch. Although maybe Mentor's better. I don't know, it's weird. I don't know. I'll take Mentor just because it's got really fancy artwork, I guess. I guess we'll meet in the middle there. Wow, some nice white stuff in this pack. Gavany Silversmith, putting just 4 power and toughness. I'm sorry, 4 power and 5 toughness on the board for 4 mana. You just split it amongst a few creatures. And then Ambitious Farmhand's a great one, because you're drawing a land out of your deck, so it's immediately a 2-for-1, and if it ever flips, 3/3 lifelink is very, very solid beat stick. But there's also an incredible blue uncommon here, the Scab Wrangler. 2 mana, 2/1 that can really make use of those decayed zombies to tap down creatures when you need. Where did it go? Okay, I don't know where it went, but I definitely took it. Oh, there it is. Wait, no, what? It says it's a Brimstone Vandal. It is not, though. Lunarch Veteran in white. Stormrider Spirit is very filler. Victimize theoretically works with decayed zombies, but it's also pretty filler because it's still pretty slow. 4 mana sorcery speed, and you can't play it at all times. I guess we're kind of low on removal, but we have all the blue temple removal and the counterspell, so I don't think that's necessary. I don't know, I guess I'll take the Stormrider Spirit. Really don't know about that pack. Wow, I guess every pick is just going to glitch on us now because it's not even showing the Stormrider Spirit. Well, we'll know what we took when we get into the deck building. This is a pretty easy startle, I think. I really am not a big fan of Duel for Dominance. This is a bad green removal spell because your creature has to fight another creature instead of just dealing damage, so it's just a little too narrow for my tastes. Yeah, we're literally not going to be able to see. What? Excuse me? Oh, okay, I guess I took Diagraph Reaver Olivia's Midnight Ambush, but I did take Scab Wrangler. Well, that is pretty sad. And then that pick I didn't really have time to think about, so I just clicked on a green card. That's okay. Well, I guess it actually was not taking the cards I wanted. Well, we'll take Revenge of the Drowned now. It's pretty simple. I guess we take Defenestrate and have a black splash off our Evolving Wilds, because now we have Midnight Ambush. And Diagraph Rebirth. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to play Devious Cover-Up. Not going to get that counter-spelly. Yeah, if we want to just splash in a mountain of removal, we can, I suppose. But we can also just have a full, complete deck here. This is just the deck. Which is also fine. Secrets of the Key is pretty slow, but I'm kind of okay with it here. What is going on? This is a real glitchy draft. Good lord. Alright, well, we have that one Stormrider Spirit we were thinking of picking up earlier now. Okay. Let's make some adjustments to this blue-green deck. It's pretty much ready. Just need to cut 2 cards. 17 creatures, 8 non-creatures. A lot of our non-creatures can produce tokens, either 4/4 beasts or 2/2 decayed zombies. So I think we can just cut the Path to the Festival and then 1 creature here. Just cut one of our larder zombies, because I don't want to be just having a million of these things on the board. Yeah, this seems like a pretty solid deck for the return to Innistrad. And that is all the deck building we got to do. So here we are with the final deck. This is kind of just a blue-green good stuff deck. The general idea for a blue-green deck in this format is to be flashback themed, as you can see with our kind of signpost uncommon here, the Root Coil Creeper, that can double up your mana to flashback cards and can return your flashback cards from exile to your hand. But we didn't get that much flashback. We just have the 1 Shadow Beast sighting, the 1 Secrets of the Key there, and the Secrets of the Key is pretty filler. But we do have a little bit of the self-mill kind of stuff that blue-green's doing. We've got Organ Hoarder, the best common in the entire set, and Eccentric Farmer, probably the best green common. We have Shipwreck Sifters letting us draw and discard cards. So we've got a lot of ways to fill that graveyard. If we do hit our one Shadow Beast sighting, our one Secret to the Key, or one of our disturbed cards like Bait Hook Angler there. Other than that, mainly just blue was pretty wide open in our draft pod, and we opened up Tovolar's Huntmaster, which is one of the strongest rares in the set, so we kind of just pushed into that color so we can try to get some free games off of casting that. Pretty simple deck idea, pretty simple plan. We'll see how it works out for us. Well, this is a pretty excellent hand. We've got a 1-drop, a 2-drop, and then the 4-drop Organ Hoarder to curve out. We are on the draw, though. Ecstatic Awakener, turn 1. This is the best black common. It's just very good with expendable creatures, such as Decayed tokens. Just basically a 3-mana 4/4, and you draw a card. Just have to sacrifice a Decayed zombie to flip it and do that. But that is not very difficult to do in this format, just a very good card. Drop our Shipwreck Sifters now. Discard this Bait Hook Angler most likely. Yep, because we want all these lands. We're trying to make 6 mana for Phantom Carriage. And that's going to make our Shipwreck Sifters a 2/3 now. Still not going to be big enough to deal with a 4/4 Ecstatic Awakener if they get a Decayed Zombie out. Siege Zombie's another great black common. And the other thing about Ecstatic Awakener, don't even need the Decayed Zombies for it to be good. You could also just sacrifice your Siege Zombie. Because you're not down a card, you just discard Siege Zombie, draw a different card off of the flip effect. We don't have anything to play this turn outside of our Disturbed cards, so we'll go ahead and Evolving Wilds for the second island we need for Phantom Carriage. I guess I could play a Startle, but that's not going to win any combat because we don't have enough power on board to kill this Awoken Demon, so it's better to just play our Hook Haunt Drifter here. And now we could triple block Awoken Demon if they're tapped out. Blade Stitched Scab from our opponent, a 2/3 that is going to give all their zombies +1/+0. So they could have like Olivia's Midnight Ambush here, and they kill 2 of our cards. But if they don't have it, then we only lose 1 creature here, and we kill Awoken Demon. And we'll mill that land. We've got 5 in hand now. We only need to draw 1 more, and we have Organ Hoarder. I really don't want to flood out, so I'm going to get rid of that land. And looks like it just works well for us. They did not have the instant speed of Midnight Ambush, so pretty great block for us all around. Now we'll send in a Hook Haunt Drifter for 1. I guess it might be better to have just held it back so we could surveil again with the Larder Zombie. So I can pick up Intruder here and put a flashback card in a grave for value. Seems cool to me. It's almost like a draw 1.5 cards there off of Organ Hoarder. Blood Tithe Collector, 3/4 flyer that would have made us discard a card if we had lost life this turn. We've got a pretty cluttered board state, would be hard for them to hit us here. So we've got 5 mana now, we have Intruder out of nowhere. Intruder is still only 3 power in the sky. We're not going to be able to kill the Collector. So I don't know that we're doing much. I guess we're just holding up Intruder and Startle. And passing turn. Just kind of waiting until we can cast our 4/4 flyer, the Phantom Carriage. It's going to be our big late game play. Bigger than Blood Tithe Collector for sure. Vivisection from our opponent, sacrificing the Blade Stitch Scab. Definitely a fan of how things are not lining up perfectly for them. If they had a couple Decayed Zombies, things could have gone much differently for us, because they would be up a lot of cards here, but they had to sacrifice actual creatures both times for their sacrifice effects. I think I'm supposed to still just play this Nebelgast Intruder here. And a Startle, probably, honestly. Rather than just holding up for later. Because, like, we're not, on this board state, we're not getting that much effect out of giving minus power. And next turn I'm going to spend 6 on Carriage. Next turn I'm going to spend 7 on Shadow Beast Sighting. So, like, I'm just not going to be holding up any mana at instant speed anytime soon. to play these on any later turns. Why is my connection to Arena specifically so bad today? Falcon Abomination, yeah, I'll keep that. And we drop Phantom Carriage now. Drop that Secrets of the Key, our mediocre flashback card that's just in here to up the amount of flashback cards in the deck. But yeah, this is what I mean by, like, just see how much work Larder Zombie has done already. Big old blocker on the ground that's just let us sit here setting up our draws. Drowned Amalgam, that is unblockable card. They're going to mill us, even though we have 2 flashback cards in grave, and we've played a Disturb card. Now, we don't have any more Disturb or flashback cards in our deck, but our opponent doesn't know that. So I am very sad about that. I would have preferred opponent to self-mill there. Alright, Storm, Rider, Spirit, that's okay. Now maybe I'm just holding 5 mana up. Because I don't think flashbacking for 4/4 is actually that good anymore, because we have better cards. I guess if I really wanted to flashback for a 4/4, I should have just kept one of those lands, but does not seem insane to me. 13 cards in the deck. We need to make sure not to mill out if they have more amalgams. We can definitely outrace their amalgam. Unless they have removals. Yep. Stromkirk Blood Thief doesn't really do anything. Our board state is too wide. They're tapped out, so Stormrider Spirit's going to be incredible here. They kill our 3/3 flyer, we kill their 3/4 flyer, and then we can just start attacking for 3 in the sky every turn again. Get our Larder Zombie value. Actually, I will take this land so we can Shadow Beast Sighting next turn. We're going to want a land eventually. I guess I don't actually really want a Shadow Beast Sighting right now. But I can mill every other land that I would draw in the future. For now, I guess I just want a Falcon Abomination. Dawnheart Mentor is actually pretty good on this board as well, because we can buff a flyer for 6 mana, give it +3/+3 and trample, speed up our clock. Another Vivisection here, draw 3 more. Yeah, if opponent had any Decayed Zombie production in the first half of this game, their Vivisections and Ecstatic Awakeners would just be really popping off. So I feel like we've probably gotten just pretty lucky, and our opponent has just drawn pretty poorly here. Sifters just ain't gonna do it. We're winning this game pretty quickly here, so I'm okay milling down to like 5 cards in libraries where I'll get worried. Root Coil Creeper is actually pretty cool. I'll keep that. Do I just dump all my mana into damage, though, this turn? Sure. They have instant speed removal, now they have to use it on the smallest flyer we have. They're down to 4. I guess I could have just attacked all. Probably gotten there. I'd be attacking with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 power of other creatures. Graveyard Trespasser is pretty good against our deck. Luckily, I don't think we need any flashback value to close out this game at this point. That's going to exile stuff from our grave when it enters the battlefield and attacks, and it's hard to target with Ward of having to discard a card. Alright, they hit us for 3 with the unblockable Amalgam. And a Bat Whisperer to get a flying blocker. +3/+3 and trample off of Dawnheart Mentor though, so we have lethal guaranteed. They are tapped out. We just go ahead and not waste anybody's time here, just give trample to one of these flyers and very lethal. And there is the concession. It is 1-0 for the return to Innistrad Midnight Hunt. Alright, here we are, game 2. Both larder zombies is a little awkward. This hand is not very powerful, but it definitely sets up to try to get to those big late game plays. We've got some card draw with Secrets of the Key. We've got our mana fixing, so we have our double blue or double green, whichever we need. I think I'm just going to Secrets of the Key and drop an Evolving Wilds this turn. 2 larder zombies really doesn't matter right now when they don't have any creatures out. They're just defenders, so it's not like I'm hitting them with them. And I don't have a 3-drop to spend, so I'm actually going to wait on Evolving Wilds till I see if I draw a second. Yeah, I drew a second green source, so we'll Evolving Wilds for blue. And we'll draw a card off of our clue. It was not meant to rhyme, but I suppose it did. Larder Zombie can just hold down the fort here, stop this unruly mob from getting us. Green, white from our opponent, Eccentric Farmer. That is a very good card. 2/3, and they draw a land. Alright, let's go ahead and pop our Evolving Wilds first to thin 1 land out of this deck, and then draw our card. We drop a 4/4 next turn. Ooh, Dawnheart Mentor is the draw. But we'll just be dropping a 4/4. Big old beast. Brutal Cathar. That can exile our 4/4, and even if we get rid of the Brutal Cathar, we'll never get it back because that is a token. Brutal Cathar is an incredible rare. Exiles a creature when it hits the board until it leaves the board. But again, just kind of perfect against tokens. Falcon Abomination. Luckily, as long as it's daytime, we can just block that with a larder zombie still, like most of their creatures. Drop a Falcon Abomination, hold up a Geist Wave. We've got 3 creatures out now to start surveilling the top card of our library. Are we about to get Geist Wave value? No. They kept looking at our Falcon Abomination. I'm like, are they going to use a removal spell? So we get to Geist Wave, pick up our Falcon Abomination, draw a card, recast it next turn, and get another zombie. It'd be so cool. That's what the flexibility of Geist Wave is all about. Return any permanent, so if you need to bounce an opposing card, you can, but it can also bounce your own card and draw a card when you do that. Alright, end step. Time to surveil. What do we have next? I think I'd actually keep a land with a 7-drop engrave. I'd definitely keep a Root Coil Creeper as well. We can play that and Larder Zombie and hold up Geist Wave. Don't know if that's better than playing Dawnheart Mentor. Which is better, 1 Dawnheart Mentor or Creeper and Zombie? I think it's Creeper and Zombie, because Creeper gives us that additional 2 mana towards Shadow Beast Sighting, which means we have enough to do it literally next turn. Instead of a 0/4 and a 1/1 blocker, we have a 1/3 and a 2/2 blocker, which is fine by me. Start chipping in with the Falcon Abomination. Bounding Wolf, 3/2 Flash Reach. So they could have traded with Falcon Abomination if they wanted to, but it would not have survived the block. They would have just killed each other. So they would rather just get wide here, it looks like. This basically just can't be blocked, right? Yeah, so we're taking 3 a turn from that, so they're winning the race here. We're hitting them for 2 a turn, they're hitting us for 3 a turn. Neither of us can block each other. Silverbolt is annoying. And Gavany Trapper is annoying, wow. Uncool. Okay, cool. They're cracking Silverbolt, so we can just get it out of the way right now. Sick. A Scab Wrangler's the next card. That's beautiful. Now they don't have Silverbolt for the Scab Wrangler. Still attack with Feral Abomination, offer the trade with the Wolf. I think I do, because I can have 6 creatures on board afterward. If I go Dawnheart Mentor Scab Wrangler as the play this turn. So we can tap a Decayed Zombie, a 1/1, and a Scab Wrangler to tap down Harvesttide Sentry. And then we have a 0/4 and 2 1/3s to block with. Our opponent's board state is really wide, though, still. Oh, wow. Alright, yeah, that's fine. We can still tap that down when they move into combat. Alright, pass turn. Then we will surveil one now. Land. Cast Shadow Beast Sighting next turn instead of Root Coil Creeper. It's kind of fine by me. Did not want to trap our Abomination. I guess they'll be trapping our Beast token. Trapping our Scab Wrangler. Okay, that doesn't actually stop it from doing anything, so that's fine. We'll just have to tap a 1/3, a 1/1, and a Decayed Zombie. Alright, well now they can kill it. They're gonna kill the Beast token, okay. If the Beast token is dead, we'll tap Harvesttide Sentry and these 3. Okay, heading to our turn. Let's surveil. Nebelgast Intruder. That's pretty solid. Gives us another flyer once our Falcon Abomination dies. And it'll win the fight against the Bounding Wolf. If they go for a block there. Okay, they're just going to start tapping down. I could Scab Wrangler their Gavany Trapper in the end step if their plan is to start tapping Falcon Abomination. If Gavany Trapper is untapped in their end step, I can just tap Gavany Trapper instead of surveilling the top card of my library. I'm surprised Brutal Cathar's never flipped yet. Everybody's cast a spell every turn. Okay, moving to the end step. Yeah, I'll do the thing. Tap down Gavany Trapper. Still want to try to get Nebelgast Intruder to get some extra value there, so let's just get our clues here. And send in with Falcon Abomination. Is this a sorcery speed ability? That's not a sorcery speed ability? Okay, so I'm already threatening to beat the wolf if I have all this mana untapped, so Nebelgast Intruder probably not doing anything. Eccentric Farmer. Play that and still have Nebelgast Intruder mana. How's my library looking? 20 cards? Yeah, that's fine. That is A-okay. Okay, except I milled a bunch of big, good cards. Pick up Evolving Wilds, thin out the deck. I've already played my land this turn. There's an eccentric farmer of their own. Dawnheart Mentor has been A+. I'm happy I took Dawnheart Mentor because it looked cool. Because it is actually like, we're just getting a lot of games that are ending with just massive board states like this. We're just being able to start buffing up a flyer when we run out of other stuff to do with our mana has been real nice. Alright, they're going to pass turn. Scab Wrangler the Trapper. No, don't use the Root Coil Creeper. We have more than enough mana now. I'm actually just going to pop Root Coil Creeper and pick up our flashback card. Think. Okay, now we can thin the deck. These lands out of here. We have 8 mana up. Siding plus Hold Up Intruder. I'm never going to cast this Intruder. It's just never going to happen. Scab Wrangler is nuts. They're going to fight it away. Give that -2 power, make it a 0/3. Choose to control. If you control 3 more different creatures with different powers, put a counter on it and then fight. Okay, so even if I Nebelgast, it's going to get a counter and it'll be a 1. It'll be a 1/4, which still wins the fight against Scab Wrangler, so Intruder does not do anything here. So Wrangler is dead. Which means they might get to start attacking. Use Dawnheart Mentor during your opponent's turn as well? That's nuts. I live for the greed. I'm never casting Nebelgast Intruder. Ooh! Tovalar's Huntmaster. And now they will once again just be unable to attack. Ever. Because we're drawing into Huntmaster. I guess I should have surveilled first. Before I drew, but we had the best card in our deck on top of our library, so it all worked out. 13 cards left. Get a little worried about milling ourselves. Got Huntmaster and we hold up Intruder mana. Oh yeah, Gavany Trapper gets to pop off now. True. Because we don't have Scab Wrangler anymore. Send in a 4/4 with Nebelgast Intruder and Dawnheart Mentor as tricks to make this bad for them. Is it +3/+3? Make it a 7/7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so they kill it even if we buff. Now we're gonna have 7 power, so we kill Farmer and the 3/3. So it's a 7/7 taking 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage. If I -2, -0, it's only taking 6 damage and it survives. That Unruly Mob is getting kind of juicy now, though. Can be a 3/3 here. I think that all in all went pretty well for us. To where it's worth just skipping out on the Huntmaster to get their board a little smaller here. Slowly but surely chip through their board with Dawnheart Mentor abilities, unless they borrowed Time the Mentor, which I think they are going to do. I'm not going to larger zombie in response. We probably only need to do that once. We can just do it in the end step. Alright. Taking Harvesttide Sentry hits now. Down to 12. We do have Avenger the Drowned still in there. It would be a great draw to deal with this Sentry. Startle. It's not Not bad. I'll actually keep that. So I can afford to do that after a Huntmaster here. Fortunately, no Dawnhard Mentor anymore is a big bummer. I can probably startle pretty well. Tempted to hold this 4/4 back to just keep Harvest Tide Sentry from hitting us. They'll have to Trapper our 4/4 if they want to hit us with it now. Nice. We're gonna get Startle value instead of Nebelgast Intruder value. That Unruly Mob's getting sketchy. Not a fan of that. Come on, arena servers, you can do it. There we go. Could be my internet. I have no idea what is going on today. It's kind of irritating. I don't know what's happening. See, like we're lagging out right now. Go to speedtest.net. Oh, okay, opponent is responding now. Cool. Huntmaster on board, get our zombies. We have no instants to hold up, so I might as well also play Bird Admirer. Pass turn. Okay, it goes back to our turn. 10 cards in the library. I don't know if I want to mill myself. If this is another land, we might just be like, okay, whatever. We do have to win this game quickly. I'm gonna mill one more land. Watch the next card. The next card will be good. I'll mill down to one card. Oh, I swear. Can I win the game in 8 turns now is the question. Shipwreck Scepters, that's actually going to make me draw and discard a card if I cast it, so I can't really afford to cast it. Putting it in the grave is basically the same as just casting it, so... Oh, it's nighttime for Tovolar's Pack Leader. Alright, well, I think we just get there then. We just spend all our mana into that. Alright, they tap the Pack Leader, sure. But now the Trapper's gone. Still got their Mob, which is uncool. But we can just keep killing their board. Pay 3 life here to target that. Okay, yeah, they're gonna scoop them up. It was probably gonna pay 3 life and kill their 3/3 first striker as well. And their board is really small. And then yeah, we clear the board out really quick. Basically just need to draw removal to kill Huntmaster. The moment, well, before it flips the night, or it's just over. And luckily for us, our opponent did not have any more removal. Here we are now, game 3 in the return to Innistrad Midnight Hunt. We'll be dropping a really nice turn 2 Shipwreck Sifters here, trying to pull a land out of our deck. Open for a forest specifically. Ditch this bait hook angler. Alright, well. Now, whenever we hit 2 forests, we've got real big late game plays. We are against a black deck though, and there's a mountain of good black removal. Blue-black is the best deck in format, because blue and black are the best colors in the formats. And the Decayed Zombie synergies are incredibly powerful in the color pair, as you've seen from our synergies with Larder Zombies and Scab Wranglers as ways to use our, Decayed Zombies, and then in black they have the Ecstatic Awakener style ways to use the zombies. Gonna be a big deal. My apologies about the internet stuff. I don't know what's going on. Speed test says my internet is good, so It's either my personal connection to the arena servers, or just the arena servers being generally chunky today. But my internet's working fine connecting to everything else, so I have no idea. Alright, there's the first forest. Eccentric farmer to get the next one. Seems fine to me. I do want to play a bunch of other threats before we play Tovalar's Huntmaster, though, so I might not even just slam down a turn 6 Huntmaster. And devour their larder zombie to draw a card and make a 4/4. Well, this is going to be nasty. You can put Awakener back on top of your deck, and then you've basically not drawn a card and just sacked a larder zombie, or you can put it on bottom, and then we've killed your 4/4. Alright. So they just have to redraw their 1/1 now. That was pretty nice. Good stuff from Revenge of the Drowned. Firmament Sage. So if it's flipping between day and night, we're going to have problems, so we need to cast something this turn. So we're only hitting for 1 here. We're really not hitting hard. Not putting our opponent under a ton of pressure here. Alright, send in the flyer. Come on, forest. Wow, that is... We're 15 cards down, we only got 1 forest. A little sad. A little sad, but now we get to drop a Scab Wrangler, which is going to draw removal from our opponents to lower the amount of removal they have to get rid of Huntmaster. And it's also going to be able to tap down a blocker during their end step, so it can actually start attacking on the ground too. And really starting to put pressure on even if we don't drop Huntmaster. Static Awakener is back, so it will not be flipping tonight this turn. And a Shady Traveler as well. Definitely tap down one of their 2/3s here so we can attack with both of our 2/3s next turn. And one of them will get through, or one of them will kill the Ecstatic Awakener. I highly doubt that. Probably just getting in for 2 extra damage by doing that. Am I waiting for the server, or is my internet dead? I guess my internet's dead. What the hell? Oh, no, it's not. It's just, I'm having a scuffed day of internet. It's definitely back now, though. Yep, like I can watch a YouTube video, 1080p. This better be my opponent's time and not mine. Because that's my hourglass. Thanks, Arena. Arena just doesn't know how to automatically reconnect if your internet bugs out for a second. My apologies again. Is any consolation? This is incredibly frustrating for me too. Yep, who would have guessed? It auto-passed to our turn. We have no hourglasses. And we didn't get to tap a creature. Who would have guessed? Okay. That's so irritating. Now we're just hitting for 1. And Arena wanted to kick us out of the game when my internet is on and has been on for the last 30 seconds. It just bugged out for like 10. Sorry, I try not to get salty in videos, but I'm salty. We need to not pass the turn, because if we pass the turn, they get to draw a card off Firmament Sage. So I think I just slammed down Stormrider Spirit main phase. No, we want to tap something else. Tap Shady Traveler, I guess. Those 3. Alright, 1 removal spell down. And Hunt Master Mana while they're tapped out. Drop that big boy. Tap down the other 2/3. Probably would have been better to tap with Scab Wrangler so I could attack with the Cicade Zombie, even though it would die here. I'm tempted to just deal 4 instead of 5, so I can tap another creature in their next turn. Alright, they've got 6 mana up. Phantom Carriage, that is not a removal spell, so Huntmaster is just strolling in next turn with Startle as a backup play. Opponent's completely tapped out now. Tap down the Carriage in their end step. We don't find lethal next turn, but we're going to crush most of their board. Put them to very low life. Larder Zombie is not a bad draw at all. So that is Defender. That is a Defender, so we tap down that. We also just played it. I'm not going to attack with Scab Wrangler, even if they only have the 1/1 up, so we'll tap Scab Wrangler. Then attack all, because we have Startle. So they don't get to kill a 2/2 with their 2/3 like they are hoping to do here. And we just hit with everybody else. Basically need Wrath of God. Where we definitely find lethal next turn. Could hold off on Startle to flip Huntmaster, but I think I'm more happy to just have them not kill a 2/2 and not flip their Firmament Sage. Because, well, not flip the Firmament Sage, but not go to nighttime, because if it goes to nighttime, they draw a card, gives them 1 more shot at drawing some kind of Wrath effect that I'm not thinking of. The only thing I can think of here is a Wrath. Otherwise, I mean, just all attack. They have 3 blockers. So they would go block, block, block. Take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we're good. Alright, and they have scooped them up. That is going to be 3-0 now in this return to Innistrad Midnight Hunt, and the rankings are glitched because we DC'd in the middle of that game. Let's see what our actual rank is here. 2 wins away from Mythic. So if we get 2 wins before we get a loss, we'll be heading into Mythic on this draft as well. Here we are on the play in round 4. Turn 2 Shipwreck Sifters. We could discard Stormrider Spirit to it to make it a 2/3. We're definitely looking to draw more lands, so discarding the 5 drops what we'd want to do. This looks like a pretty great keep to me. We hit a single land, we're on Eccentric Farmer, which brings us up to Organ Hoarder. Let's work with Flashback? No, just Spirit or Disturb. Okay. Alright, there's the land we need. Now we discard the 5 drop. Play Eccentric Farmer this turn. Any land is good, but a forest would be incredible. Alright, Evolving Wilds. It's actually the worst land in our deck for us there because of it entering the battlefield tapped. I'll cast a spell to kill one of our 2/3s. I'll just crack back here, I'm not that worried. Just play an Organ Hoarder and block that with the Organ Hoarder. Overwhelmed Archivist. That is pretty annoying because it's going to trade pretty well. Well, I do really have the spells deck over there. Alright, you get your trade off. So you can get your Disturb, or don't. We'll drop a Dawnheart Mentor now. You can block Festival Crasher with Dawnheart Mentor, and they have to cast 2 spells or specifically a combat trick to kill it, which is okay because we're very far away from the mana to do the trample ability anyway. Alright, so we just stop that damage, take 3 from Overwhelmed Archivist. I'll play a Fangblade Brigand. I think we just Revenge of the Drowned that and crack back into them here. Looks like we really just want to keep them off their aggressive plan. The next turn we should be able to cast Organ Hoarder, draw land, and then cast Startle as well. So we put a creature on the board and hold up a trick. They're down to 11. Recast Fangblade Brigand. Organ Hoarder for a land here. Well, definitely Organ Hoarder for a land. And it doesn't look suspicious because it's all 3 lands anyway. Could Scab Wrangler and tap the Brigand down. That seems like actually the better play than Startle even. Tap Brigand and then attack with 2 2/3s and they trade into Archivist. Or I just tap 2 things down next turn. I think I just tap 2 things down next turn. Crack into them the turn after this with Dawnheart Mentor's 6-mana ability up now. And Startle and Shadow Beast Sighting. A lot of options next turn. Overwhelmed Archivist. Draw a card, discard a card. Two mana up from our opponents. Another Festival Crasher, so they're making sure their board is nice and wide. If they want to attack, that's fine, because then we can crack back harder. Okay. Falcon Abomination. They're at 11. Tap Dawnheart Wrangler Decayed Zombie. We're attacked for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11. Usually 1/3s are annoying because they survive. I think I actually... I probably should have tapped a 1/3 over an Archivist here. I think I messed that up. Because they can block a 2/3 with their 1/3 here and block Organ Hoarder on Archivist. I should have just tapped both Festival Crashers instead of one of the Archivists. Now we have Falcon Abomination Startle to make sure we have the creatures to tap down whatever we need post-combat here. Just a block there. Well, now I don't have to do... That works so well for us, I think. I think I just startle, and I don't have to lose anything. And I hit them down to 6, and then we drop Falcon Abomination. We have a blocker and enough creatures to tap down one of theirs before they go to combat. The Brigand just gives itself +1/+0, so we just tap down Brigand here. Find lethal on the Crackback. We just need to make sure that we survive this attack. Festival Crasher might be threatening more damage than Brigand, now that I think of it. It's only one of those two. They have 2 cards in hand. 1 4-mana spell in grave. There's no way they can cast more than 2 spells. And if they cast 2 spells, they're hitting for 10 with those 2. For 5 apiece, I think I would rather kill that. I mean, I guess if the 2 spells are both tricks. But there's a trick that gives trample in the format, +3/+1 trample. Yeah, if they have the tricks to find a way to kill us here, it's going to kill us either way because they're giving trample, I think. Moonrager slash to face. Moonrager slash to... Are you kidding me? Exact seize because I didn't block a Festival Crasher. That's absolutely infuriating. Holy crap. Well, obviously should have blocked a Crasher instead. I guess I should have thought if they didn't have the trample trick. If they didn't have the trample trick, it's not like them killing our 2/2 flyer without losing a creature is going to let them survive next turn somehow. Alright, so while it's better if they don't have the right trick to block the 3/2 in a hypothetical so that no matter what, you're actually trading your 2/2 flyer off for value. It's not better when you definitely have lethal on them next turn. So it really doesn't matter if you lose some value that turn. That was brutal. Heading into round 5. Pick up our second island for our Phantom Carriage here. Get another forest off farmer, hopefully. No matter what, we get Evolving Wilds. Even if we don't hit a single land, we did hit a forest. I'd rather pick up a forest here. I want untap lands every turn so I can go 4-drop, 5-drop, 6-drop. Infernal Grasp on Eccentric Farmer. I'm completely down for that jam. Get rid of our 2-3. Alright, they're stuck on double black. We'll just curve out all our creatures then. Try to get as aggressive as we can, and they're just going to scoop them up. It's going to be 4-1, not much of a game of Magic that time, unfortunately. Alright, on the play, turn 1 Larder Zombie. We do need to draw a land, but if we hit it, the hand is incredible. 2 of our 3 drops give us 2 tokens to use Larder Zombie immediately. And there's Root Coil Creeper. Close enough to a land. If we hit a land as well, we can just Organ Hoarder next turn, but Organ Hoarder might be worse than Dawnheart Mentor or Falcon Abomination. And we have Larder Zombie out. Well, that's the perfect draw, because now we don't have to choose between Organ Hoarder or Falcon Abomination. Because we just get to Falcon Abomination and Evolving Wild, so we're still playing a land for the turn. Vadric, Astral Archmage. Whenever it flips between day and night, it gets a +1/+1 counter, and their spells cost X less to cast, where X is its power. Okay. So they could cast a Geist Wave right now for a single mana, or a Startle for a single mana. Gonna get the green source because I'm gonna draw Tovolar's Huntmaster, I know it. That is just a 2/2, and it doesn't get any bigger until it's flipping between day and night, so we can attack with Root Coil Creeper this turn, because Root Coil Creeper isn't exactly doing anything mana-wise. We drop our Organ Hoarder. Revenge of the Drowned, Shadow Beast Sighting land. Let's grab that Revenge of the Drowned. And the Shadow Beast Sighting into our grave to flash back off of Root Coil Creeper's double mana ramp. Alright. Mountain from our opponent, the full blue, green, red flashback color pair. Or color trio, I should say. They're just going to pass turn holding up a bunch of instants so they can flip Vadric here. Not flip Vadric, but flip to Night. Get a counter on Vadric. Make their stuff cheaper. Go with the 5th land. Yep. So we kind of only want to play 1 spell this turn if Vadric is still going to be on board, because we don't want to flip back to day or they'll get another counter on Vadric. So let's just attack with Organ Hoarder and Falcon Abomination. See if we want to cast a Nebelgast Intruder, and then if we don't want to cast that, we can flash back our Shadow Beast Sighting. Alright. Go for 5 and show us the counter spell. No counter spell. Could be a bounce spell though, that would also be not ideal for us, because bouncing a token is going to kill it forever. If they have like a Revenge of the Drowned of their own or something. If they have 2 instants here, they're definitely flipping with Vadric again. That's probably 2 instants. We'll see what they draw. Oh, I guess Root Coil Creeper taps for the red source. They need to cast that again, so yeah, it's definitely 2 instants. Revenge of the Drowned on Vadric is going to be pretty nice in the future. Get all the counters off of it. Winterhorn Blessing discarded off there, so they get some flashback value from that. They can buff one of their creatures and lock down one of ours. Alright, so 2 spells were cast. Flip today. They pass turn. Well, what? Player casts at least 2 spells during their own turn. Okay. That is how I read it earlier today. I guess I just got mixed up because opponent was double spelling, so I was like, oh, this has got to be really good. Nope, just want to draw some cards there. But actually, that's nice that you can't abuse it like that. If you're a deck that has nothing but instants, you can't just like, alright, I'll pass turn, so it's night, and then I'll just cast 2 instants during your turn, so it's day, and then I'll go back to my turn, and I'll pass turn, so it's night. That would be pretty wild. Alright, so Rise of the Ants it is. Very, very good card. The biggest kind of win condition for these flashback decks, because it just clutters up the board so hard and really gets you back in the game. It's just really hard to attack into that. 2/3/3s and you gain life to stem the bleeding there, and they can flash it back and do it again. Let's see what we've got. Another Larder Zombie, ain't it? Get out of here, Larder Zombie. So I've got the mana to Revenge the Drowned, this Vadric, or an Ant, honestly. But if I get rid of Vadric, then they won't be able to afford the flashback on Rise of the Ants. So instants and sorceries cost 2 less. I guess they could still be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If they play a land, they can still afford to flashback Rise of the Ants. So Vadric actually probably not that wildly important here. I guess I am flipping to day again if I let Vadric stay. This is rough. I guess we could hit Vadric and just send in a flyer. Go for a Nebelgast Intruder. Just admit defeat on the ground. 2 more 3/3s next turn. They flip the switch here. A 1 mana flip the switch. That is a counter spell unless its owner pays 4. They have their own Revenge of the Drowned they're going to use on our Root Coil Creeper. It's interesting. Also fine, I guess I'll get rid of that. Guess I'm casting Nebelgast Intruder here. That's actually rough, not being able to instant speed this Nebelgast Intruder based on their ant blocks is a big deal. I think we still play it to have more flying damage, because they're probably casting Rise of the Ants next turn. Yeah. But yeah, they can still trade one of their ants into this Organ Hoarder. Or double block the 4/4. Take 5. I guess, yeah, we still only kill 1 ant, so that is the better one to do. Okay, that's fair though. I guess Nebelgast Intruder wouldn't have mattered during combat anyway, because they were just always going to double block the 4/4. Because that is, yeah, either way they lose 1 ant, and that way they're killing the 4/4 instead of the 3/2 when they do it. Alright. They did put Vadric on top of their library, so if they don't have another land in hand, they can't just go land Rise of the Ants, which looks like the case. Just gonna tap down our Falcon Abomination and pass turn here. Larder Zombie is so good. It's so good. It looks so inconsequential, but it's just straight gas all day long. No reason to pre-combat this. We can't afford the buff. There's a 4/4 ant blocker. now from that Winterhorn Blessing. 4 Ant. Alright, so now if they just tap out for Rise of the Ants, they go to 1? Because they'll be at 8 life, but then we can attack with both of our flyers and buff one of them. Burn down the house. What? Well, I guess we lose. Yeah, we straight up just lose. Our board state's gone and then they Rise of the Ants on an empty board. Wow. Better to startle and draw a card here, or just hold on to startle, so we might be able to keep the Decayed Zombie. A single Decayed Zombie is not that valuable. Shipwreck Sifters, God. Okay, we're just desperately looking for something. Nope, I think they just won. We've got a full grip too, we know they don't have lands in hand. They have 6 spells and a Rise of the Ants they can flash back. Get rid of Harvesttide Sentry. So it's better to get rid of Magic because it gets that extra counter, but it's whatever, we're dead. That was a misplay at the end for sure. We should have got rid of Magic. I don't know why my brain thought the zombie wasn't decayed, so I could attack in without sacking it to where trading into a 3-1 is bad, but it's a decayed zombie, so we just shoot Magic. And they double spelled anyway, so Magic's a 2/3 blocker. Either way, mega dead to that Wrath. We got Wrath of God and Unlimited. It happens. Turn 1, Secrets of the Key. Into Scab Wrangler. Into Bird Admirer. And we'll see what happens from there. Turn 2 Shipwreck Sifters. We'll see if they have the Disturb card or Spirit to go along with it. Just a land. Still a big enough blocker for Scab Wrangler, so it keeps us from doing anything here. And the Infernal Grasp for the Bird Admirer. Root Coil Creepers. The draw. Drop that out and pass turn. Good lord. Double Infernal Grasp the first 4 turns. Very rude from our opponent. Got enough Revenge of the Drowns. Kind of okay just shooting the Sifters. I guess they draw a card, discard a card again if we do that. I guess we hold off. We can just flash back Secrets of the Key. Or draw a card off this clue. Their hand has got to be just like all interaction. Stromkirk Blood Thief. That'll get a +1/+1 counter in the end step because we lost life. Be a 3/3. Okay, sure. We'll revenge that. And we can hit them back for 2. We're going to put it on top. And now we have a Zambi. Now if this Dawnheart Mentor resolves, which it probably will, because they didn't seem to even think about a counterspell last turn, we can start tapping down a creature of theirs every turn. They have 6 mana, The 3-drop Blood Thief in hand. And another Blood Thief, okay. Well, we definitely see what's going on over there. Five mana for us. It's Revenge of the Drowned or Stormrider Spirit. Or Crack a Clue. Not exactly hitting them right now, we're just waiting for our 6th mana for Dawnheart Mentor. So we're just passing turn to tap some stuff down again. We could block fine, especially with this Revenge of the Drowned if something goes wrong. So I don't think we're even tapping down pre-combat, we're just waiting till their end phase again. I guess if they blow up one of our creatures, we could just tap down right now. Okay, so they're going to blow up Dawnheart Mentor. Then their attacks are solid. Tap down one Blood Thief, or we could revenge our own Dawnheart Mentor. That seems bad, though. Skip our next draw step here. You know what, it's probably best to just Stormrider Spirit out of nowhere when they go for the attack. Now they're tapped out for sure. Do we kill this Blood Thief and then they're down to 1 card in hand? But we don't have a Scab Wrangler anymore? I think we do. Because now they're down to a 1/2 and a card in hand, which I think we definitely beat. Static Awakener? Yeah, we assuredly beat that. I don't know if it's better to revenge in response to Awakener's trigger or just right now. Probably in response to them doing it. Hit for 1. Attempt to hit for 4. Alright, they put it on the bottom, just draw their next card here. Play a land, there's a Hunt Master we don't have the mana for yet. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll attack all, so we just have lethal next turn. Goodbye, Decayed Zombies. I'll draw a card off this clue. If we hit a land, we can still flashback Secrets of the Key and we can startle no matter what. Alright, no land. I'd rather Angler than Startle. Still a good draw. Still very castable. Devious cover up our Angler. It's a-okay. They're still playing off the top. We've got 4 damage on board. Alright. Final draw step for our opponent. Hits them an Unblinking Observer, which does not stop the Stormrider Spirit in the sky. That is 5 and 2 now. Here we are in round 8 now. 5 and 2, pretty great start. We've got Evolving Wilds for Forest here. Scab Wrangler on 2, Falcon Abomination on 3. Playing against another blue deck. Best color in format. Big fan. We can play Dawnheart Mentor on 3 if we want. Falcon Abomination threatens more damage though. Probably rather do that. Playing against blue-white. Blue-white tends to be Spirits and Disturb. Bringing back the Spirits from Grave. Yep, and Shipwreck Sifters is popping off. So let's get something in the sky. So we can actually hit them. So their Disturbed card in Grave is a 2/1 Flying Vigilance for 4 mana. They want to hit us for 2, they got it. We'll hit them harder. Falcon Abomination of their own. Alright, we tap that down and attack for 6 if we want it, but with a Scab Wrangler on board, it's probably better to keep the Decayed Zombie around. I think we Mentor here just to have 3 creatures up again. So I could have not tapped down Falcon Abomination so that I could maybe get a startle off a block there, but that would just be wildly suspicious and would basically just reveal to our opponent that we have startle in hand. If they're decently familiar with the format. Hit us for 2 in the sky, that's fine. Don't need to tap that down, we'll save the tap for the end step to help us attack harder. Firmament Sage. Just bounce the Sage, it's a 4-drop, make them play it again. Seems pretty fine by me. Hit for 5, can hit 2 harder with this zombie token. But if I startle next turn, I have 3 creatures up and tap another thing. Probably gets in more damage in the long run. Alright, no counterspell, please. No counterspell it is. Now we have Scab Wrangler's ability up. Again. Pass turn. Tap down Shipwreck Sifters. They're definitely holding up an instant if they're just passing turn here. But now we're threatening Dawnheart Mentor's ability, which is straight lethal, so we attack all and see what happens. Cathar Commando. Okay. Is that it? Cathar Commando on Scab Wrangler. Mentored up. Now they respond with another removal spell. Double it up, Geistwave back to hand. Still hit them down to 4. Well, that was pretty good for our opponent. Cathar Commando and Geistwave at instant speed. We'll have the mana next turn to play Scab Wrangler out and hold up Stormrider Spirit at instant speed. Dawnheart Mentor is a big problem. If they have removal, they might spend it on Dawnheart Mentor here. And they will. Steal it with a Grafted Identity. Actually really good for us because Dawnheart Mentor doesn't do anything on their board. They don't have the green mana to use it well. This is a wildly bold attack. They have to have 2 mana removal for Falcon Abomination now, I'm guessing. Alright, maybe so. The 1 life here. Hold up Scabbering. I'm not really worried about doing that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They have 8 damage on board. We'll Stormrider Spirit out of nowhere, plus have a Scab Wrangler to block with. We attack both. We don't have removal. They're just trying to outrace us here. They have a Forest in their deck secretly? Just go Forest, Dawnheart Mentor ability for lethal. Still won't be lethal because we have Stormrider Spirit, but they don't know that. That could be how they're looking for lethal. Or they could have some big tricks in their hand that we don't know of. Send in just a Cathar Commando. Alright, so it looks like they're not trying to find lethal, just trade. Stormrider Spirit. Resolves. They need 2 removal spells now, or another Flash Flyer. Did you have a Flash Flyer here? So all the flyers are gone now, and they've got the bigger board state. And our opponent has taken the lead. Luckily, we're not really taking damage right now, but our opponent does have more cards in hand than us. So we are on the back foot despite the life totals. Pass turn, another instant here. Okay. Go for it. Another Stormrider Spirit, jeez. That'll do it. It's lethal if they all attack here. We just drew dead a few turns in the end. I don't think we have anything in our deck that can win now. Yeah, Phantom Carriage doesn't even do it because it's 1 flying blocker. It's a 4-mana flashback card, which is only Secrets of the Key. Yeah, that doesn't do it. That's game. Really unfortunate final game there. Pretty close one overall. We definitely could have gone 6-3 in this one at the minimum if we had beaten that that blue-red deck. We definitely punted that one away with the Festival Crashers there. Still a little on tilt from all the internet issues earlier, so my apologies about that. But the Wrath of God with the flashback deck with like 6 cards in hand after the Wrath, we were definitely never winning that one. And that last game was a pretty tight match. If we found another damage earlier on, we may have been able to find a victory there as well. So it's potential with tighter plays in that final game, and definitely without the end game punt against that blue-red deck. We could have maybe gotten a 7-win run out of this one, which is a pretty great start for the return to Innistrad Midnight Hunt. Even a 5-3 run, I'm perfectly happy with. We're up in gyms, and got a pretty solid deck here. Had a pretty fun time with the gameplay. Very excited to be hopping back into this format, but that is going to end today's video. As always, if you want to see some more videos like this, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That'll let the YouTube algorithm know to send you some more of these videos in your notification feeds. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.